Alright YouTube, so today's video we are talking about why cinema cameras. And a lot of people asked the question. You had the R5 Mark II, you had the R7, you had the Sony A9, you had, cinema cameras in the past. Why are you back to cinema cameras? Well, before we answer that, just a quick announcement. This particular video is being captured on a very old Canon FD lens, which happens to be a parfocal lens, which is a 35 to I think 105. It's an FD lens, which is mated to the Sony PMW f55 lens. So that's what you're seeing right here in the studio, and that's what we're capturing. So anyway, back to what the topic of the video is, and that is why cinema cameras. So it's a long laundry list, right, of things. Now, having said that, there are a lot of things that the new mirrorless cameras, DSLRs, all of them, they can do. They can do some things pretty good. Some things they can do far better than even a production cinema camera like this one. But there are certain things that they cannot do. And not say cannot do, they don't do it as well. You get more consumer grade things in there. Codecs, for example, is one. That's very big. The raw options, being able to shoot raw video, and those kind of things. So you got to pay a lot of money for those. And usually the ones that actually have those things either overheat or whatnot, unless the camera actually has a fan in it, which is not too many of them. They're starting to become more and more, but that's always been a major issue. The other thing is most of them record about 10-bit internal is the max that they can do, and higher end cinema cameras can do 10-bit for sure. Some do 12, and the really good ones can do up to 16-bit, and it's pretty incredible on how much detail can be captured. And a lot of people have, why do I need 16-bit video? Well, when you got a lot of highlights and a major difference between the highlights and the shadows, you really need that latitude sometimes, especially when you're shooting outdoors with clouds, the sky, and you still want to expose someone correctly and not lose all that detail. Yeah, it's worth it. The other fundamental thing is that I see today is we have so many cinema cameras that are available that are affordable, under 5,000 or whatever. For some of the more beginners and aspiring, filmmakers, built-in ND filters. Not all of them have that, right? So if you're buying one, definitely pick one up that has built-in ND filters. It is a lifesaver. Like, for example, this one. It allows you to be able to shoot these lenses wide open. What they're designed to do. If you want to get that shallow depth of field and things like that, you like that look, it gives you the ability to do that. If not, then you got to buy a filter for every single one. Now think about it. I've got a Canon FD lens on there. I can put a Canon EF lens on there. Then I can put a PL mount lens on there, and I can continue to use my ND filters. I don't have to buy a new ND filter for each, front. Now they have the new magnetic ones. That's fine, but it's still annoying. Another piece of glass that I'm sticking in front of it. The one thing, cameras like the PMW 55 like this, it actually has some sort of I think it's an IR type of filter, so it doesn't, infrared type of things don't affect it very much. I don't know a lot about it, but I've read it many places. If you know about it, just put in the comments below. The other big thing is audio, right? So this is a actual condenser mic that requires 48 volt power. Well, a professional camera will give you 48 volts of power. So typically when you buy your $3,000 cinema cameras, you got to usually buy a powered handle that actually needs to do all these things. And by the time you're done, now you're $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 once you rig it up to be able to do that, to get that quality, that level of audio out of it. and be able to capture that audio. The one thing that I really like a lot is the modular design, right? So like even the Sony FX30, FX3, FX6, 9, they're very modular, right? So you can take things off and whatnot and be able to do that, which is kind of cool, right? Because you can make it really small, you can make it very big, depending on sort of what you want to do. And whatever it is that you can actually afford, that's the big thing. One of the biggest advantage that I also see is being able to adapt pretty much any type of lenses nowadays to these cameras and in these bodies. So if there's an adapter made for it, you can pretty much stick it on there and you're good to go, right? It's not an issue anymore. Obviously, the true cinema cameras and production cameras like this, like the pro cameras, they're built like freaking tanks. They're made out of solid metal. It's not none of that plastic stuff anywhere. The only thing plastic I think is probably just the cover of like some of the ports. Everything is like rock solid metal, and it's designed to work. It's got its own built-in fan, never overheats. You can run for hours on end, and those kind of things. So, in a nutshell, why do you buy a cinema type of camera or a production type of camera? I'm gonna read sort of whatever, Cinema cameras, they're actually built for storytelling, right? They're built for a very high like visual standard, being able to capture and be able to show you the story in its true form or closest to reality as possible. And it's not, a lot of people just think, okay, it's just about recording video, but it's not, right? It enables like visual language, right? That matches the expectations of a cinema. And what that means is, you're navigating through almost like the story of life, the cinema of life, the movie of life, right? So documentaries, commercials and things like that. A lot of times you won't see that being shot on some of these, photo first type of, cameras. Can you do it? Yes. Is it going to have the same level of effect? I don't know. Maybe. It could be painful, or you can get the right tool, like a cinema camera, and do it right and just take care of it. So it all depends what you're doing. If you're doing filmmaking for production, broadcasts and things like that, you gotta like kind of just have one of these things. You just can't like not have it. So, there were a lot of reasons for me to pick what I picked. It is definitely not a camera that has all of the latest and greatest bells and whistles, but it's got all of the bells and whistles that are really needed to truly make an incredible production camera. This particular camera, the PMW 55, shot like massive series. Like I think there was a series called Crown on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. Shot on this thing, pretty incredible, right? And so it can be done. So they have definitely used these things for many major productions. So with that, leave your comments below if you own one or if you're looking to get one. And there's nothing wrong with the video out of the R5, R5C, A7C, FX, this, that. They're all great, but you have to find your niche onto what you like and what works within your workflow. This is easy for me because it actually fits in. The mount is actually massive. It's big. I can put big lenses and not have to worry about the freaking thing coming off. It's kind of nice. All the different things that you can do. And everything runs off of a remount battery. So bam, there are no cables and stuff all over the place. So I'm excited and happy about that. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and leave your comments below as to sort of what you're doing with it. And if you have one, would be very curious. And let me know if you like this old 50-year-old lens on this camera and how it actually did here on this particular video. So with that, I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you.